Once Upon a Time in Hollywood was easily one of my most anticipated movies of 2019, right when the first concept dropped and Quentin Tarantino said this was going to be one of his last projects. Then the cast was announced: Leonardo DiCaprio, Brad Pitt, Margot Robbie, even more excited. And then it just went increasingly higher and higher as that first trailer dropped, and man, this movie looked amazing. Does it live up to all that anticipation and the amazing reviews? It's time to dive in. What's up, it's Film Frenzy. I recently saw Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Quentin Tarantino's 9th film. Let's get right into this review. First, direction and visuals. Quentin Tarantino always has a knack for a visual style, and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is no exception. I mean, the color grading, the production design, the set decoration, the costumes, all of it just adds up this amazing aesthetic that's beautiful to watch. It really recreates 1969 Hollywood and all of its glamour and also some of its not so glamorous moments, and I thought it was just beautiful to watch. You look at the stills, it's just amazing. There's so much detail put in it. I can really appreciate that from a visual standpoint. And even though there's not as much action as most of his films, there is one final battle scene that, man, I've never seen a scene this gory and violent before, and even by Quentin Tarantino standards, this is an insanely violent scene, and it's filmed gloriously. The fight choreography is amazing. This is easily one of the best action sequences I've ever seen in my life. So of course, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is getting 5 stars out of 5 for direction and visuals. Next topic of discussion, acting and character development. I previously touched on the amazing cast that Quentin Tarantino put together for this film. Along with those main 3 actors, there's a ton of great supporting players. And overall, I think the casting was very good. Each actor really fit their character well. But unfortunately, I felt like only the 2 lead actors, Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt, actually got to do much in this movie. Like, we all knew that Margot Robbie, Sharon Tate, was going to be more of like a supporting character. This movie isn't just about her. It's more about, Leonardo DiCaprio, his actor character, and his stuntman played by Brad Pitt. So I wasn't expecting her to do a ton, but she was so underutilized, and she's one of my favorite actresses of the decades. She's done such amazing work in so many great films, and to see her barely do anything and just play a pretty one-note character in this was really upsetting. And I hate when actors like that are underused, and this was one of the worst examples. Thankfully though, Leonardo DiCaprio, he played his character wonderfully. He put all of his heart, and you could tell he was really having a good time with his character, and he showed it. Like when he's, kind of meta, like acting at a character that is acting, it was very hilarious. It's kind of impressive to see an actor like pull off playing another actor who's acting like in a show. That was pretty cool to see. And I think Brad Pitt did a great job as his character. The supporting other players were pretty well cast and did a good job, although nobody really shined besides Brad Pitt and Leonardo DiCaprio, so the acting was very good. But the character development, besides those main 2 guys, who, by the way, don't really develop throughout the movie, they just kind of stay stagnant, so it's unfortunate to see no character arcs from them, though at least they're like decently developed characters that, have levels to them. But like I mentioned before, Sharon Tate is pretty one note, and all the other supporting characters aren't that interesting, to be honest, and that was very disappointing for a guy that makes such great movies with such awesome, fully developed characters. To see only 2 well-developed characters, and even then, neither of them had arcs, was very disappointing. So this category, I can only give Once Upon a Time in Hollywood a 3.5 out of 5, mainly because of that really strong cast and some solid acting. My final category consists of the story elements of plot, pacing, script, and theme. This is the big category, and I'm going to start with the plot, which is my biggest drawback with Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and where I'll be nailing it the most. And it's really that the plot, it's just all over the place. There's no direction, there's no coherency, cohesiveness. It is just mind-boggling how crazy it is. And yes, that makes it an entertaining watch, and you don't know what's going to happen next. But there's like no structure, and I get that Quentin Tarantino plays with structure a lot and changes it up, but that's something else compared to just no structure whatsoever and just completely randomizing where the plot goes. This movie goes on for way too long. It's 2 hours and 40 minutes, but this felt like with the plot I had, it should have been like maybe 2 hours max, so it was so overlong, and that was really, really annoying. Like, they kept on introducing these new elements, which I do appreciate that sometimes you're questioning, what is going on right now, and then it comes back later. There were a lot of callbacks later in the film, the stuff that happens earlier, which I do appreciate. It shows that he did put some effort into the plot, but I felt like mostly It was not a tight, well-developed plot at all. And I think it makes it so it's not really like a powerful movie as it could have been. The plot is really what's holding Once Upon a Time in Hollywood back, and it has so much potential. The movie that the trailers promised looked fantastic. It looked amazing. And I'm not saying that a movie should be what the trailers, sum it up to be. I love when movies surprise, but this was not a good surprise, at least for me and lots of the other people I saw the film with. And that was really, really unfortunate. It felt like he was just making a Quentin Tarantino movie, just having fun with it, and not really putting in the effort that he's put into some of his previous films, which was just very, very sad to see. Like, there is a lot of plot to it, but I feel like it just goes haywire, and it never really comes full circle at all. And the movie, I'm not going to reveal any twists or anything, but there is a big twist at the end, and it felt like the whole movie was almost just trying to trick you with the twist, and that's all it was. So it felt kind of cheap, it didn't really feel like it, was that rewarding, which was unfortunate when a movie is just going for that one goal. And then also, so like I mentioned before, Leonardo DiCaprio's character plays an actor, and so there are a lot of clips from his TV shows or films where it shows him acting in the film, but it shows the shots and stuff. Some of them went on for way too long. This is why the movie is so damn long, because he shows these long flashbacks, these long TV show elements that are just not necessary. Yes, they're kind of funny, but he does those jokes over and over again to the point where they're not that funny anymore. This kind of goes into the script in that, yes, there's a lot of great jokes, and this movie is overall very entertaining. Almost all the humor hits, but his unique brand of humor only works so many times. It was very funny, but then he stopped getting creative, and he just repeated the jokes over and over again, and they got lazy and boring, and that was really, really annoying. And then the pacing, obviously, I'm not a fan. This movie felt like it went on forever, and I mean, it kind of did. It's 2 hours and 40 minutes, but it felt a lot longer than that. I'm talking 3.5 hours. It was so long. There's very few moments in the film that I felt like the time just flew, and it felt like a fast pace. The pacing was just kind of all over the place and just way too slow at some points. It was ridiculous. All the scenes he put in there, it felt like somebody should tell him no. Just because he's Quentin Tarantino doesn't give him the right to put in some scenes that are just should not be in a movie like this. It was ridiculous. And finally, the themes. Well, there's not much to talk about here because there's not really any themes. Maybe it talks about violence because the Manson family murders are kind of part of the story, but there's really not much themes. This movie did not resonate with me. It didn't make me feel many emotions besides just laughter and confusion. So I mean, at least it was a very entertaining film, but it didn't leave me with any thinking at the end. I wasn't going back to and thinking, oh, that's a very interesting theme. So no themes here. This is overall a pretty weak category. I'm giving Once Upon a Time in Hollywood only a 2 out of 5 for the story elements because its story is rough. So that leads to my overall score. And like I said before, this movie is very entertaining. It's a unique watch, maybe the weirdest movie I've ever seen. I recommend seeing it, probably not in theaters. Wait till it's on DVD or home video because it is a unique film. It's very entertaining, but at times it can get slow, and I really don't think it's a good film, though personally I did enjoy it, so I'm giving it a 3 out of 5. Overall, insanely disappointed. It makes me so sad to give a movie like this a score that's kind of mediocre. I really wanted to love it, and honestly I feel like that's what lots of the critics did when they gave it such good scores. And I really don't think the Rotten Tomatoes score speaks for what this film is. I don't think it's that good, and it's one of the weak points of Quentin Tarantino's career, unfortunately. So thank you for watching. I'm so sorry this review kind of became pretty negative. I hope you enjoyed it at least. Stay tuned for more film reviews, rankings, and other awesome movie videos coming soon. This is Film Frenzy, signing off. Goodbye.